I found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You say you're depressed. All I see is resilience. You are allowed to feel messed up and inside out. It doesn't mean you're defective. It just means you're human. Try to understand the blackness, lethargy, hopelessness, and loneliness they're going through. Be there for them when they come through the other side. It's hard to be a friend to someone who's depressed, but it is one of the kindest, noblest, and best things you will ever do. People who have never dealt with depression think it's just being sad or being in a bad mood. That's not what depression is for me. It's falling into a state of grayness and numbness. I go through a lot of depression, and I know other people do, too. But I have an outlet that so many people don't. If you have that inside of you and can't get it out, what do? A big part of depression is feeling really lonely, even if you're in a room full of 1,000,000 people. When you're surrounded by all these people, it can be lonelier than when you're by yourself. You can be in a huge crowd, but if you don't feel like you can trust anyone or talk to anybody, you feel like you're really alone. Mental pain is less dramatic than physical pain, but it is more common and also more hard to bear. The frequent attempt to conceal mental pain increases the burden. It is easier to say, "My tooth is aching," than to say, "My heart is broken." Depression, for me, has been a couple of different things, but the first time I felt it, I felt helpless, hopeless, and things I had never felt before. I lost myself and my will to live. That's the thing about depression. A human being can survive almost anything, as long as she sees the end in sight. But depression is so insidious, and it compounds daily, that it's impossible to ever see the end. I'll never forget how the depression and loneliness felt good and bad at the same time. Still does. It is very hard to explain to people who have never known serious depression or anxiety the sheer continuous intensity of it. There is no off switch. I didn't eat. I stayed in my room. I was in a really bad place in life, going through that lonely period. Who am I? Who are friends? My life changed. I've been searching for ways to heal myself, and I've found that kindness is the best way. I knew people who had suffered from anxiety and found it kind of hard to understand. But then when it hits you, you're like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Sometimes I panic to the point where I don't know what I'm thinking or doing. I have a full anxiety attack. I have them all the time anyway, but with auditioning it's bad. I'm so terrified of it. I disliked myself so intensely. It was just a mindset. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to love anybody. I was constantly anxious. I was kind of a control freak. If I didn't know how something was going to turn out, I would make myself ill, or just be locked up or inhibited in a way that was really debilitating. I had to stop because I had everything and I was absolutely broken inside. I kept it all together enough to where I would never let you down, but I kept it too much together to where I let myself down. If you are broken, you do not have to stay broken. I have never been remotely ashamed of having been depressed. Never. What's to be ashamed of? I went through a really rough time, and I am quite proud that I got out of that.